What's up YouTube, Byrdman here with another Destiny 2 build video. Today I'm going to be covering an awesome Titan solar build. I've kind of covered this a little bit in one of my YouTube shorts, so make sure you're checking that out. But this is kind of going to be the bigger build overview. But make sure you're also checking me out on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at Byrdman778. And let's get right in the video. Now, like I mentioned before, I've kind of covered this a little bit over one of my YouTube shorts, but I kind of want to do a deeper dive into the build, kind of explain my reasons behind a lot of things, kind of go over a lot of the mods, weapons, and the class itself. Now, let's go over what exactly we're using for the Sunbreaker. We're going to be using the middle tree coded the Devastator. Biggest reason why we're using this is because of the throwing hammer we get. Throw a hammer from a distance. After throwing it, pick it up for a fully recharge your melee ability. I really like this because this really adds a little bit of that distance gameplay to the Devastator. It's so funny I said the Devastator. To the Titan, essentially the Devastator, who cares? Outriders, PTSD coming back. With this class, you get to throw that hammer around, kind of get some distance for yourself, and also be able to hit enemies at a farther range. But know that your hammer actually counts as melee damage. So kind of having that throwable melee around with a lot of stacking bonuses that we're not only going to get from our class itself, but also weapons that we're going to use, it makes for just an amazing combo. Because of this, we had the Burning Maul where we're getting the giant hammer. I'm not a huge fan of this part of the super, but one of the biggest reasons why it is helpful is because it still helps us stack Roaring Flames. Kills with your solar abilities increase those abilities damage and stacks up to 3 times. Now, this is amazing because we're just going to get a constant stacking damage boost as we continue to kill enemies. And once you hit that ×3, you're at your highest damage potential, at least from the class ability on its own. So being able just to constantly keep that up, not only with your hammer, but also your grenade that you're going to be throwing around, is very key and crucial. Now, finally, we also have the Tireless Warrior adding on there. After hitting an enemy with your throwing hammer, picking up the hammer triggers your health regen. This is really important just because of the fact that we're going to be throwing this around. A lot of times you're going to throw this into a group of enemies, and then you might get some extra fire coming on you. So jumping in, grabbing that real fast, getting that health regen, and moving on to the next target is really key. When it comes to weapons we're using, I specifically use the One Small Step because of one of the mods that is available on it. That is going to be the 1-2 punch. Hitting an enemy with every pellet and shot increases melee damage for a short duration. We're just getting a nice stacking damage boost on top of our hammer again. This is going to be really the best for those bigger targets. Something like maybe just like a mid yellow bar boss or even like a champion, especially unstoppables. I know this really helps if like your teammates are able to stun them. And if you're not able to stun them, you're still able to do an immense amount of damage, especially if you're able to get all those shots with the 1-2 punch, plus maybe having Roaring Flames ×3. I have auto loading holster on this one because it's really nice just to be able to like move in and out of this, have it auto reload real fast. But you're able to get this weapon from one of the altars on the moon. Whenever you do this quest line with Eris Morn, you'll have a chance of getting this. Definitely recommend grabbing this. For our energy, we have the Sunshot. Now, the Sunshot's an OG Destiny weapon, Destiny 2 weapon. It's still, I would say, one of the strongest weapons in the game, yet like a whole lot of people just like kind of ignore it. But what's so great about this is the fact that its weapon fires explosive rounds that highlights the targets and takes damage from the Sunshot, but targets killed by the Sunshot explode with solar energy. Now, this comboed with another mod that we're going to have on our armor essentially just helps us constantly add on extra solar elemental wells so that we're getting just extra energy back for ourselves. And finally, for your heavy weapon, I run the Threaded Needle. This might be one of the most slept on weapons I feel like it's in the game. And it's also just an amazing weapon that a lot of people are using right now, even though I do say it's slept on. It didn't really get, I think, the praise it deserved until this season with particle deconstruction. But the Threaded Needle is just a really great one from the season of The Chosen. I've got auto loading and frenzy on it. That auto loading is amazing just for the fact, again, I'm able to just like pop it a couple times, swap to a different weapon, and then it's immediately reloaded for myself. When it comes to our armor pieces, I'm running just kind of like down the line, some basic just armor all around. I really like my look. I think I look pretty good. If you get to this point of the video, type down below, do I look cool? Yes or no? Please say yes. But for our helmet, we are specifically running a couple things. First off, power preservation, so that our super final blows are able to create orbs for our allies. Melee kills will get us bonus melee energy, so that is going to help with the maul, be constantly throwing it around, throwing around that throwing hammer, throwing, a lot of throwing, but getting those kills, we're going to be able to stack up that super energy real fast. And honestly, using your super just to make sure you're able to keep up Roaring Flames ×3 is really key, so this can definitely help with that. But melee Wellmaker, one of the most important parts of this entire build. Powered melee combatant in final blows spawn elemental wells matching your subclass energy type. Now, being able to use that throwing hammer, get a kill with it, is going to create those wells for us. So, since that's considered a powered melee kill, we're able to get that and then just be able to constantly get energy back, not only for our class ability, but also our grenade. But just in general, having plenty of wells is just good for you and your team. On our arms, we're going to be just pretty much running elemental ordnance, so they're able to use our grenades to just do the same effect, constantly just chain those elemental wells as much as we humanly can. Obviously, this is going to be where you're mainly going to be swapping in and out things like your champion, different mods like that, but being able to just make sure you have at least that elemental ordnance just to kind of combo off of the melee Wellmaker is really important. Now, the coup de grace exotic of the build is going to be the Severance Enclosure. The Severance Enclosure reads, powered melee final blows unleash a damaging explosion. Finishers and final blows against more powerful targets increases the radius and damage of the explosion. This is amazing because of the fact that whenever we get that hammer throw on an enemy, it will automatically create that explosion around them, which will almost immediately just destroy everyone else around them. It's really nice because that will also combo with just the explosive side of the build, but just the fact that you're able to kind of just take out mobs with a single hammer throw from like across the map is just really nice for just mob clear, ad clear, and especially on the bigger bosses. Whenever I'm doing like Altar of Sorrow, if I'm killing one of the nightmares that are coming out of the portals, if I'm able to get my ×3 Roaring Flames with that 1-2 punch, I will absolutely get a kill off on one of those guys, and then that explosion from them will kill all the mobs around them. It is amazing. I really love this combo. On our boots, we're running Explosive Wellmaker. Rapidly defeating combatants with explosive damage spawns a solar elemental well. This is amazing because of the fact that not only is our Severance Enclosure counting for that, but also the fact our Sunshot, the explosion that is created from the initial kill off the Sunshot, will create those extra wells. So, just make sure that, especially in those big mobbing areas, getting one kill, making sure that that explosion kills somebody else will constantly spawn wells for you. And finally, on our Titan mark, we're using the Well of Ordnance. Picking up a solar elemental well grants you additional grenade energy. This is just key just because we're able to constantly keep up our grenade as much as possible to then combo with our hammer. With this build, all in all, if I had to change things in and out to make it more applicable for across the board for anybody, I would say weapons like the Ascendancy is really great just because of the explosions that it creates. Anything with Firefly explosions will work with the Explosive Wellmaker, so that's another thing to maybe like combo out of the Sunshot. And then when it comes to the one small step, that 1-2 punch, there's really not anything else that would do that. I would say maybe consider something like Synthoceps or maybe the Worm God arms for the Titan, just use some more melee energy. But honestly, the Severance Enclosure, having that just absolute just explosive damage around you constantly is so cool and just adds that cool uniqueness to the build. Thanks so much for stopping by this build. I hope you really enjoy it. We're going to be keeping up the ball rolling, doing some more stuff and things. I should be having a nice Void build out here later in the week, so keep an eye on that. If there are some Void well mods that you think I should try out, or Void Charged with Light mods, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm trying to get some really unique stuff to do here, so any way you could help. And also help me out by checking out some of my YouTube shorts. I'm going to be uploading those every single day, so just take quick minute out of your day, check those out, and get those nice algorithm views. We really like those algorithm views. But anyway, guys, hope you have a great night, day, or whatever it may be.